I'm not sure which is worse. The godforsaken jungles on this planet, or the little dens of misery like this Baybasin. I think I prefer the jungle in a way. Well, as always, I need to focus on getting us all out of here as fast as possible. Not sure how, though. Things aren't going to be pleasant here for long. You can feel the pressure in the air. This place is going to explode. Soon. And I don't want to be here for that. So let's find a lead and get out of here so I can find my sister. And hopefully get out of Ku as quickly as I can. At least being this far from the monolith means I can lay low, but not for long. The longer I stay here, more likely Father will find out I'm here. And that would not be good. This is Red Moon Role-Playing.
Well, this is not very helpful for our cause. Is there anything else you could do or think of?
And one of the men who have executed these prisoners are looking through their belongings and...
Hey, let me have a look at that. Get out of here.
And you push the rebel aside, and there's some tags with burr on them, some ammunition, and then there is something else. There is a document.
Oh, shit. I'll look over stuff, and
So when do me and Farouk arrive?
You arrive just as Pig has looked at these executed men and found this.
So I kind of look around, tell Farouk to keep their head low, and I sort of sneak over to Pig, and I'm like, so what's going on, Pig? You found what you... How did you even know these people are the people we're looking for?
Well, they look like them, right? They're dressed like them. According to the leader, they belong to... What's it called? The Ramses Jackals? You know them?
I don't. Alright, well come on, get the bag in. Quick, come with us. I kind of am looking at the other freedom fighters trying to avoid their sight. I'm like, come on, Pig, we don't want to get on the bad side of these people.
Yeah. I hand over the document. Have a look at this. And I look over the dead bodies. Any one of them carrying accelerator in reloads?
Yes, you're able to pick up enough ammunition to re-up whatever you have used here, and the same goes for the rest of you. There's also ammunition being handed around by the rebels. So if you have any ammunition needs, you can fill them here. The document that you find is from Golakandra Company. Negotiation and distribution is their tagline. It's a delivery that is cargo via Kabul District Pier 58, Little Algol, for further transport as agreed. Payment after review of delivered goods. And yes, the seller is a Golam, delivery via Little Algol. It's sent to Tubra Gutan for Niobe Hassam Pani Square Sukhabra. That is in the Conglomerate.
Yes, it is. And of course, I'd be familiar with Little Algol. But Hassam, do I know who they are? They have it on the paper. They seem to have a little logo of some sort of pyramid. It makes them look like another company, maybe.
Yes, it seems to be some other kind of shipping company, perhaps. Perhaps it's yet another middleman in this chain of transportation that is happening here of these stasis beds. You also see that, of course, the cargo is listed as Sogoi, Baybasin, Algols, Mirans, and then X. 6 of X. And that's where the money is coming from as well. The unit price is 650 for a sum of 3,900. Total value of this shipment is 7,115.
Captain, this... Fuck, I don't know how we got so lucky. This is what we were looking for at his place. This is a shipping manifest.
It is. And the X's are probably the ones with the mystics, yeah?
You note that as you're looking at this document, and that's when you hear ships arriving. many of them, gunships, rather big ones as well. They're swooping down and they're firing not on the compound, no. They're coming to save who's in the compound. And there's something very familiar about one of the ships, isn't there, Pig? It belongs to someone, doesn't it?
Oh yes, it does. You can recognize that humming engine 2 miles away. This is it, guys. I think this is what we need. Let's get out of here now.
As I look at these ships, would any of them seem familiar to me?
I think they would, probably. Mostly to Pig, but you've seen Al-Hwalim's ship, right?
Our Red Moon used to be one of his, but still.
I kind of go, fuck. Of all the people... Yeah, we should be going. You know what, Burbasil, she's in good hands. Good for her.
Yes, you really should, because they're not just firing on the compound, they're strafing the streets, and they're really messing stuff up very, very badly. And what was a stream of refugees before is now turning into a full panic, as many of the rebels also now start dropping their guns, trying to run away. And it seems like people are moving towards the river, towards hopefully barges that are waiting there.
It occurs to me, how do we get out of Baybasin?
It's a very good question, Carlo. How do you get out of Baybasin?
We should find a ship or something.
Yes, let's find a ship. Come on, Pig. Enough of the fighting. The revolution's lost, as I told you. But luckily for us, they caused enough of a distraction. We've got what we need. Let's go.
Yeah, maybe we're not gonna join that big stream of people. Let's find some place to take cover until this whole thing blows over.
No, we need to find a vehicle now, Pig. It's Al-Wahim. You know he's a fucking psycho. He's gonna be cleansing this place. Shit, we need to go.
Then now we really need to get the fuck out of here.
Jasmina is seeing you starting to move away, Pig. Where are you going? We have to win the revolution. You can't abandon us now.
Well, I didn't sign up for fighting against all these ships. I'm sorry.
And she continues firing up against the approaching gunships and towards the compound, and they're all fighting to the death for their lost cause.
I'm gonna, as we start running, I'm gonna take the rear if I can. If the guys allow me at this point, since I've been acting like I have.
I'm afraid, finally, I'm now watching you. I'm like, Pig, no, we are going, Pig. You don't want Al-Wahim to fucking find out we're here.
And I swear to myself, and I start going with them quite visibly now. And anyways, I'm gonna tune in on Al-Hwalim's frequency on my communicator. And I am gonna say, package delivered as requested. Now if there's an evac, then let us know.
I'm pleased with you, Pig. I knew you would make it happen, and you did. I will see you again, Pig. We will continue our work soon. Very, very soon. But not yet.
And I say nothing more to that, but I hurry along with the two of the others.
Yes, and the people are flocking towards the docks and the river barges there, trying to run away. There's complete chaos. There's men, women, and children, and there's a few spots left, you see, on one of the river barges there. But to get there, you have to find your way through. How are you going to get through here, if that's what you intend to do? Will you try to force your way, try to kind of squirm your way through? Are you going to try and... Yeah, what are you going to try and do?
I'm going to try and lead from the front and infiltrate my way forwards. I'm just going to try to find any shortcut I can to kind of get an advantage and sort of suddenly be on those boats as best we can.
Alright, well then I would like you to roll for infiltration then for the group and see if you can somehow find the way that no one else has really noticed. Perhaps moving across some rooftops even.
Sounds like a plan. 2 successes.
Excellent. Then, in this chaos, you are able to move on these corrugated metal rooftops that make a clanking noise as you're jumping across them and moving towards these waiting river barges, and you're able to catch one of the last few spots on the only ship that's still waiting here, and it leaves rather soon after you have gotten aboard, all of you, and you see refugees waiting in the port there. You see these gunships that are strafing the streets of Baybasin, and Al-Halim's ship has landed in the compound. And yes, is that a firework that someone's sending up from there? Yes, it looks like it. Someone's celebrating. And the explosions grow silent, and the sound of the jungle take over. You hear crying, coughing, and screams from injured people on the barge as your ship is moving along the Ramishah towards the Conglomerate. You made it through to the outskirts of the Conglomerate a few hours ago. You're now nearing proper civilization. Traffic in the Delta has been more intense around the trading hubs further up and is now slowing down and evening out. It's a steady stream of fishing boats, river peddlers, and barges that are accompanying you down the Ramishah toward your shared destination, the bustling microcosm known as the Conglomerate. You're sitting there in the barge squeezed together with all these other refugees from Baybasin. What do you say to each other there?
Carlo is still keeping his turban wrapped around himself, again trying to pull off a sort of jungle merchant look, if you will. But he has sidled up to Farouk and Pig and said, "You know, all things considered, I actually think that went surprisingly in our favour. We didn't have to get involved with the revolutionaries, the Sugoi, or the Syndicate. They just shot each other, and we got what we needed."
Yeah, not to mention our old boss. Yeah.
Well, we did get what we came for, I guess. Little Algol, then, I take it?
I've been sitting there fiddling with my hands and my fingers, checking my reloads and my gun and everything.
Yes. Of all the people who'd saved Burbasil, Al-Wahim, well, that came out of left field, but luckily he has no idea we were there, and that's good.
Yeah, well, about that, yeah, I kinda have something to admit, yeah. I swallow hard and I say, yeah, well, when you guys were in the cantina and you wandered off, Carlo, I got a call from the man. Yeah, and well, he knew very well where we were, and he was mighty pleased about that, saying that, look, there's a favor that I need, sort of, and if you do this for me, then we're all fair and square, and don't worry about anything stuff. It's kind of what he said.
Fair and square?
Yeah, we caused some trouble for each other. It's all like water under the bridge. If we do this for him, we stir up a bit of a revolution, and then he comes in to save the day. But I knew you guys don't. I know you guys would thought it would be a bad idea, so I don't know. I didn't. You're my friends and stuff, but I didn't want to. I'm sorry. It's just.
Wait, but what favour? We didn't do anything after all. What favour do you owe him?
Well,
please, Pig.
All I did was I talked to the Jasmina as we planned me to do, and she said, yeah, if you deliver some information to Rakeen, then we can get moving with our little revolution. So I delivered a message, and they got to brass knuckles, and then the revolution started, and then Al-Halim came in, and I think he's mighty pleased with how it went.
But after everything we'd done to get away from him, Do you really think he'll just let us off that easily?
Well, it wasn't that easily. It was kind of a big thing. Either way, he's not coming after us right now, but he knows we are anyways, so I figured...
So wait. You say you did do him a favor?
Yeah.
You had something to do with the fact that suddenly those revolutionaries had a whole... Suddenly they were revolutionizing or whatever.
They were starting the revolution, but they were already before. They were planning the whole thing. They just needed a loose thread. They needed someone who was new to town, a new face, someone that Rakeen might trust to deliver some false information.
I just start sighing. I give my face a bit of a rub, and I say, "You're aware how lucky it was that you managed to find one of these jackals and get that paper, because otherwise, that revolution you started almost fucked everything."
Yeah, well, you could have... well, you know, I mean, you guys didn't find anything, right?
Pig.
Yeah.
I truly understand that you were doing what you thought were best for us, but please let us in on this before you do anything like this again. If things would have gone wrong, we would have been in... We wouldn't have known what was going on, and we... You know... Oh.
Well, you know, I was thinking that I didn't want you guys to be the ones that... Because, you know, Carly, you said you didn't want the syndicate coming after you and stuff, and now it's just me, you know? That's better, right?
Except it's not just you, Pig. Our Heem isn't all square. That's not how he operates. He might maybe only burn you a few times in a pot, and then eat me and the captain. I don't know. The guy's a fucking nut job, and I'll be perfectly honest, and I quiet a little because I don't want attraction from the other people on the ship. I'm mostly just disappointed in you, Pig. Thought you'd grown a spine. Turns out, when our Heem comes calling for you, you'll let him guide you straight back to a kennel.
Carlo, that was uncalled for. Pig was just trying to look out for us. Right, Pig?
Yeah. See? It's like
Listen, it's not like I didn't expect us to have Al-Walim after us for the rest of our lives. I mean, the situation hasn't really changed. And I'm sad to say, Pig, I don't believe he thinks us square by this. I don't, okay? But whatever the situation is, I we're in it together, and we've been that from the start, so there's really no reason for you not tell us.
Well, to be honest with you, the situation did go in our favor by a slim margin, Pig, so I will give you some credence for having some secrets. We all have secrets. But I like to know when they involve me, and in this case, him knowing I'm here on Kua, it's a little closer to home than I like him knowing I am, if you get my meaning. Don't mind when it's on Coriolis or in the system.
Well, yeah, sorry. Now you know, I guess, but yeah, I'm sorry.
And if you talk to Al-Walim again, tell him that it's better he speaks with all of us instead. We don't appreciate this sneaking behind back kind of business. If he has a beef with us, it's better he... You know, I know he has a beef with us, but it's a low blow to try to, I don't know, play us against each other.
Still, unfortunately, Artir himself was a dead end, so I suppose this got us our information. Otherwise, they'd cleared out of town pretty quick. We were, Pig, gonna try and get some information from Baybasin herself, but as you saw, didn't quite go that way. Oh well.
And as you say that, the What was at first only a small dot on the horizon, it now towers, a mighty pylon pointing to the heavens. The monolith. Space and aircraft of all imaginable makes and models swarm around it like bees around a hive. As the shadow of this colossus falls over you, the river narrows and the surrounding wilderness gives way to human settlement. A mixture of smells, cooking, spices, sewage, incense, soap, cremation, greets you, carried on the evening breeze.
I take it a moment to smell the air. It's a familiar smell, although maybe this angle is not quite as familiar to me, but I do know of Little Algol at least.
This is not how you usually arrive now. The buildings in the Conglomerate, they range from enormous skyscrapers, especially in Covenant City, around the monolith, to low hangar-like warehouses and decrepit shanty towns. And the docks on the northeastern shores of the Ramisha where you're now arriving, they're bustling with life. There's these 60-meter-long piers that are embracing the enormous Heuschober market, and a multitude of trading offices and customs houses that are located on or next to these piers. And this is where your barge begins unloading its human cargo.
As we're being pushed off the barge, I will have a look at my security tablet. Now we're back on proper intranet. I still haven't received any responses to that message I sent quite a long time ago, have I?
No, you have not.
That's good. I'm not going to be sending any more now, not while I'm here. I quickly turn my tablet off, in fact, and sort of stow it away. I look to Pig and Farouk. Don't worry, Captain, I'm fine. And Pig, it's alright. I actually... I don't know how you did it, but I'm quite impressed. But I'm glad you told us about Al-Wahim. That's all that actually matters, okay?
Yeah, I felt bad about this thing. I didn't like going behind your back, so I'm sorry. I thought it would help, but yeah, now we're here, and you got any idea what this is? I pointed to the document.
And the document is specifying something called Pier 58, and you see here that, well, here's Pier 45. Pier 58 might be somewhere in that direction. The little boy is pointing towards that as well. He's still with you.
Does he still have the X in the forehead? Or have we wiped that off?
I see him pointing at it, and I squint at him, and I lift up the turban that we put on his head. My turban, the orange one, kind of stylish, though now it's kind of dirty after all that. That X on his forehead, is that still there, or has it rubbed off?
It is still there, although just barely. It's starting to rub off against the turban.
Okay, when I see that, I try to rub it off using my hand and see if I can get it just a little bit more smudged out.
You do, and you get at a little bit of the rest of the face while you're at it, and yes, there is a little boy hiding under all that dirt and dust, and yes, he smiles at you again. He still hasn't said a single thing, though.
What do you know about this place? Have you been here before?
He shakes his head.
You just know where we're going, don't you? Okay, so let's head over there then.
So, Captain, here's how I see the situation. We've got a location. With any luck, that's where they have the people. Now, maybe even the Emissary. Icon's willing. For now, though, Pig, we keep a low profile. This is the Conglomerate, yeah? We're back in civilization. You start shooting people, it's going to attract law enforcement. Maybe even, well, considering where we're going, we have to burn. Well, hopefully they're not involved, but we don't want them involved, you understand?
Yeah, sure. I try to find a piece of cloth, something to wrap my rifle in now that we're gonna... If that's true what he says, that we're gonna walk around in civilization. I've never seen anything like this, I say as I look up at the towers.
Well, we're not going anywhere up there. But you were gonna say, Captain?
Is it too much to ask for a bath and a meal and a couple of hours of sleep?
That might actually be. I kind of at this point do look sweaty and weary, and I go, actually, you might have a point. we could risk spending the rest of this evening in rest. We could, but only one night, Captain. We need to be moving quickly.
Yeah, but I think we all could need just a short breather. Maybe a couple of hours will do.
And as you say that, Pig, there's a pillar of smoke that's visible further up ahead from one of the piers.
I notice this, then I say, hey, what's going on over there? I squint and try to get a read. I climb up on a crate near me and I look over.
Yeah, and you look over and you see the pier numberings and... Oh, alright. That would be pretty close to Pier 58, wouldn't it?
I think there might be trouble brewing, guys. I think we better get over there.
So much for that bath, then.
I give a weary sigh and I say, it's not that far, Captain. Let's have a look and see what's happening and then plan from there. After all, if we actually find the place and find our people, once we get Aisha and your friends out, well, then we just need called the Judicators and the whole thing is over. We can get back to our lives. They swoop in, get the Emissary, we get a reward. So maybe we're closer to the end than we think. All right, let's go. Stay low, Pig, and let's just blend in with the crowds.
You're moving towards Pier 58, and you start to feel the nauseating smell of fire as you get close. Pier 58 now houses 2 smoldering ruins instead of the warehouses that were there before. Several of the moored watercraft nearby have also been destroyed. You see stevedores from the Free League that are putting out the last flames as you arrive, and local slummers that have already started to gather, hoping to probably plunder the ruins. There's dark smoke hanging over the pier, and charred pieces of wood and plastic float around in the water. This is Pier 58, where the cargo was delivered to, into one of these warehouses, where it must have been unloaded. If there is any further tracks, well, it would be in there in the warehouse. It is mostly put out, but if there's anything remaining in there, it's going to be gone very soon once these slummers go to work.
Of course, they're covering their tracks. They probably set the fire themselves. But then that must mean this isn't the main base. Fuck.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out where things have been taken. I start making my way in. I look around. Are there any signs at all of parts?
You start to move towards the warehouse. You see some of the stevedores are kind of yelling towards you to stop, but then it seems like they focus back on the fire. You smell a strong scent of ammonia that's coming from within the warehouse, and there's an enamel sign on the door here that displays the logo of the Hassam Company, which is the same one that you saw on Arthur's manifest. Some things are still burning in here. You think you can get in, but you're going to need to roll a dexterity test if you want to be able to, well, find anything, basically.
I see that. I see the Hassam, and I look down at the document that I've gotten as well. Hassam, Pani Square, Souk Habra.
This is not Pani Square, though.
Yeah.
But it is a Hassam building.
Interesting. I wonder if that's the actual company where they could have been taken. But yeah, okay, I'm gonna start trying to make my way over here, and I say, I'll be careful with these things, and I will have to roll dexterity, I guess.
Yes, indeed. Farouk and Carlo, you see Pig making their way into the still burning warehouse.
I look towards the captain, and I say, Pig is running off on their own again. I better follow them. They don't even know what they're looking for.
Let's both follow. Maybe another set of eyes might help.
No successes for me.
Would you like to pray to the icons?
I pray to the dancer to keep me safe throughout these smoldering fires. Better act fast. Nope, I catch on fire.
I roll a 1 success as I go in after.
I pray to the icons. No success still.
Then you begin moving into this still burning building, and Carlo, you see how there's some debris that's falling, and you see both Pig and Farouk are caught in this area that's burning, and you see how their clothes are starting to catch on fire. And I want then here for Farouk and for Pig to take fire damage. So roll 1d6.
4.
2.
2. Then that's the amount of damage that you take. Carlo, you can probably save them here, but you're gonna have to move towards them now if you wish to get them out of the precarious situation they're finding themselves in now, screaming from the fire that's burning them.
I see them just sort of suddenly by this debris that's fallen near them and getting trapped, and I just sort of yell out, "You two need to get out of here!" And I kind of run, and I'm gonna try and help them, but I'm worried that I can dodge these things, but I can't see what I can do. I'm gonna try and get a cloth and try and grab some of the debris that's not burning and just try and get it off, but I'm, calling out to them, "You need to push this off you and get out!"
And I start running out of there. I head towards the water, I guess.
You do, and start to try to do that, but you're a little bit stuck. So, Carlo and Farouk, of course, you were also taking fire damage here, basically, and you're a little bit stuck with that. But Carlo, what are you then doing? You're trying to grab this cloth. Can I ask you to roll a dexterity roll and see how that goes?
3 successes.
Then this cloth becomes a powerful weapon that douses all fires. And you're able to, just in the nick of time, get both Farouk and Pig put out. The little boy looks on from the outside, screaming towards you. And you were able to put out the fire. You're still inside this ammonia-smelling warehouse, and this is when you see where the smell is coming from. Under the debris close to, where you got in trouble, a tank of some sort is leaking this unknown liquid.
Now that they are slightly less on fire, just start trying to push them out of the building, and I'm going with them. I'm saying, we let it burn, let the building burn.
I'm desperately trying to get out of my ruined and probably still smoldering clothes.
Farouk, you recognize the smell that this is giving off. It's coolant liquid for a stasis unit. It must come from somewhere inside of the warehouse.
I kind of stop mid, undressing and just turn to Carlo. Carlo, that's... I think there's a stasis pod in there? That's coolant from a stasis pod.
What?
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's flammable, but there's something in there.
Damn it, it's now or never. We gotta do this, Carlo. This could be your sister in there.
I tried to reach out with my mind.
Alright, then roll for that.
I get 1 success.
Then Farouk, in your mind's eye, you see a foggy mirror image of the world. And out of the mist comes the distant echoes of a song. At first it is just a ringing in the ears, but it gradually changes into an enormously powerful voice, delivering a sad, woeful lament. Water can suddenly be heard dripping on stone, accompanied by harsh voices. The song is interrupted by pain shooting from the lumbar and the back of your head. A cold, tight grip closes around your neck, making it harder and harder to breathe. The song, it goes, "The tunnels lead only forward, like an arrow leaping from its string. I steady myself for the journey's end, living still, in death. All that was shall be again." And the grip around your neck is released, and you see bodies at the back of the warehouse. There's a body inside a stasis pod and 2 bodies lying in front of it.
There's people, there's someone in there. I think maybe it's the emissary. I don't know. We need to get in. He's dying. It's dying.
Yes. And who do you think reached the bodies first? Is it Farouk or Pig or...
I mean, I think it would be me, but that's only because I assume Farouk was recovering from mine stuff, and Pig as well. Yeah,
you tell me. Yeah, I'm trying to convince you that we should go in there, and as soon as you do, I will start hurrying after you.
Well, then you're both moving up, and you find 2 bodies here. Something has happened here because, well, there's a stasis unit here, and there's a burned body inside of it that's twisted in agony. And then there's these 2 bodies in front of it.
Yeah, I wanted to do that anyway, to figure out where the explosion had come from, if I could figure out what caused this. 2 successes.
Then you find out quite a bit. First of all, what has happened here? Well, it certainly does look like arson, doesn't it? Secondly, what has happened with these bodies? So, it seems as if 2 people, probably stevedores, they look Sogoi, they must have gotten trapped in here. And you see a knife on the floor here. It looks as if they fought each other. And the winner got inside the stasis unit, probably thinking that would mean safety from the fire. But that's not exactly what happened. The other body on the floor is one of the... it's the body that was inside the stasis bed, so it's a thawing body from the pod that's there.
I move towards that body.
Yes, you move towards that body. And you also realize that the body inside the stasis unit was boiled alive inside the stasis fluid. And that's why it's twisted in agony like that. So it won the fight over this supposed safety, but, well, there was no safety to be had there.
So what about the rest? Are there more stasis pods in here?
There is, if there is, it's covered by debris and by fire at this point. It's really hot in here, and you're definitely not feeling good. Carlo, you were looking at the body on the floor.
Yes.
And you see that it's still alive, with terrible burns and can hardly breathe, much less talk. But it is still alive. And the other body seems to be gripping something with a very firm grasp.
What's it gripping?
Looks like a tag, like a beer tag.
A beer tag? I kind of look at that, and I look at the figure, and I move over to turn them over. Who are they?
It's too badly burned to say. You would be very surprised if they could be saved. And Pig, you see this as well, and you know that there is no way. This person is in pain and is suffering really badly right now.
That's a shame, I say, and I pick up the knife. They seem to have fought each other over getting into the pod, and then whoever won, they got burnt bald inside. What's that? I say as Carlo is, I'm supposing, bending down to take that bear tag.
I do, but... Okay, I can't tell because of burns. Okay, I don't care who they are, but they're not Aisha, right?
The body shape doesn't match with Aisha, no.
Fine. Okay, I kind of gently then lean away from it, saying, Sorry, friend. And I'll go and grab this tag, and then I think we're going to need to get out of here.
Yes, you have the tag, and you see, as you pick it up, you see that it says 25, and it seems to have been paid just a few days ago. There's a payment line immediately that comes up that says Hassan Shipping.
I look around and I'm like, right, okay, it's not Aisha. We need to leave, Pig.
Is this the only pod that's in here then?
The only one that is not... yes, this is the only one that you can see, and the only one that... If there is other pods in here, they are covered by so much debris and fire that they would be beyond any saving. And this place is starting to fall together now, actually. You need to get out of here.
I cover my mouth with my caftan, and I nod to Carlo and give off a cough. Yeah, Yeah, and let's start making our way back.
Yes, I kind of luckily already had my face wrapped up, which is helping, but yeah, no, I cough a few times and look at Pig, who has been badly burned as well, and try and get them out of there.
And Farouk, you're coming to after your vision. What do you do?
Well, I have taken substantial damage. So I think I'm going into some kind of shock and probably just sitting there shaking, trying to get a grip. I see my friends going into the building again, and I want to follow them, but I can't. I just try. I try to stay awake. I try to stay conscious.
All three of you are now outside. There's the stevedores have moved up here and are putting out the fire. They're yelling at you like, "What are you doing?" And but they don't seem to pay you that much more mind than that. Some of the slummers are looking at you, trying to see if you've picked up anything of value, but they can't see anything that's obviously valuable.
I take a moment to sit on a crate as the stevedores start fighting the blaze now, and just sort of wipe. I have to remove some of that face wrapping to wipe my face. I'm covered in grime, dirt, and I'm very, very tired. But I do say, it's alright, Captain, it's not Aisha, so I'm sorry, there was nothing we could do for anyone in there.
You tried. Yes. It wasn't the emissary?
Okay, well, I dust myself off and I look down at this document. There is an address for the Hassam Trading Company. I suppose that's something we could go for.
Look, we need to... I think now we really do need to rest, and I'll be honest with you, I'm reporting in. We need some guidance here, and once again... I personally, Captain, think it's a good idea to let the Judicator know we're here now.
If we could get the Red Moon here, it would help.
Could be a good idea. Pig, you alright with that?
Yeah, and I start looking Farouk over, because I think he got a bit more burnt than I, and I'm gonna try and apply some first aid to him.
You always do take care of me, don't you?
Well, I try.
I patch a line through to Judicator Kosher.
Carlo?
Judicator, good news. We managed to find what we needed in Baybasin. It led us to Little Algol, led us to the Hassam Company. They're the ones all the packages and people seem to be going to.
Interesting. We are actually tracking what we've been able to get via the satellites. We've tried to track the beds. It's been a massive amount of footage for Appian to go through, but yes, best as we can tell, they've been brought to the Conglomerate. So I've come down to planet side, and I'm actually here now. Would that be where you are as well? I can see that is the case from your signal.
We are down by the piers. We're at the warehouse. You can probably tell they are clearing up their tracks, Judicator. They've set fire to the place. I think a few of the pods were here. But obviously, if they've set fire here, well, it's not the final destination, is it?
No. In that case, if you say the Hassam Shipping Company, then that must be their next target. We have to move there immediately.
Yes. How can we proceed to continue helping you? We need some rest, to be perfectly honest. We'd like our ship ideally down here so that we could leave when we want to. And yes, what do you suppose we do to help?
Well, you can help investigate what has happened at Hassam Shipping. I'm the only one down here. I don't want to cause a scene. So if you're able to join me for that, that would certainly help.
Where can we meet you?
You can come down to Sucabra. They have their offices on Panay Square, if I see correctly here in the records.
I quickly start typing up the information on the shipping manifest so that the adjudicator has all the correct addresses, because that address sounds like it might be nearby to where she just said. Or...
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yes. Ah, good. Yes. This is the shipping manifest, adjudicator, so you have all the information. We'd like some rest, but... What even is the time now? It occurs to me we've probably been travelling through the night.
Yes, you did. So you did catch a few winks of sleep on the river barge, but of course you went through something rather traumatic there, so you were certainly exhausted, but it seems as if people are, well, they're dying rather quickly as you're following this track, and it seems like time is definitely not on your side.
I frown a little, and I remark, you know what, cut the rest. We'll meet you... How long does it take to get to where the adjudicator is?
Maybe 10 minutes.
We'll see you soon. And I cut transmission, and I look to the others. Captain, I know you're gonna need some rest, but we kind of need to meet the adjudicator now. I think the people we're after aren't gonna give us time to rest. If we don't act now, they're gonna get out of here.
Yes, just let me get on my feet and we'll start moving out, okay?
I nod.
I kind of struggle to get up on my feet, kind of reaching out for someone or something to steady myself. I'm like half dressed as well because I've been tearing off my burning clothes. Let's go.
Yes, so you are on your feet again. You're very tired. But you're up, and getting to Penny Square is not a problem at all. So the narrow streets that you're moving through are packed with people: gang members, peddlers, fakirs, musicians, acrobats, beggars, carriers, mingle with prophets and seers, loudly sharing their wisdom with the people. The air here is thick with the smell of yes, those same smells of cooking, of spices, incense, burning bones. The slave trade is happening openly on the streets here in Little Algol. Men, women, and children are sold to wealthy families in the sprawl of the Conglomerate. And you come to Penny Square, which is at the center of the Heuschober. The plaza is crammed full of stalls and crowds of people. And outside the local Kaltash Amim brewery, spirits are high as local merchants and hands sit down around low tables to share some wine and a relaxing hookah. And you look at that and you just think to yourself how long ago it was that you were able to do that.
And I'm looking forward to it again when this is over.
Wedged in between the two larger establishments here sits a small, anonymous-looking shack. A discreet metal door with a multicolored mosaic depicting the sign of the messenger, and a small enamel sign showing Hassam's pyramid logo are the only things hinting at the business that's going on behind this door. And you are met here by the adjudicator, who is wearing her armor, the same one that you saw her in before. She nods to you.
I go over and give a little bow, looking, in comparison to when we last met, a complete mess, with muds, apart from the cantina where we got a little bit of a wash. That's all been undone by the boat travel, the gunfighting, and the fire. Not to mention I have all this turban around my face, so I look a little bit silly as I kind of bow and say, "Judicator, you're looking better than we are."
That I do. Looks like you've been through hell.
Yeah, and sure could use a rest, but the trail is growing cold and, well, gotta move fast. What's the plan?
We break into this building.
Yeah.
Or knock on the door. Hopefully, they would be able to explain what's going on. How about we try that?
Go ahead.
Sure.
The Judicator's jurisdiction on Kua, is it as complete as it is on Coriolis, or do they down here have a little more to contend with? I can't quite remember.
Now the adjudicator's jurisdiction is on Coriolis, so you're really out of their jurisdiction here.
As I'm thinking this, I do say, all right, but let's be subtle, adjudicator. After all, you don't want the Esteban knowing you're here. I'm sure they'd be annoyed at you meddling in what they might consider their affairs.
And she's quiet at that for a minute, and then nods. And then she moves towards the door. And the door is unlocked. She pushes it open. And then she stops inside there. What do you do?
What? What's wrong? I try to look over her shoulder, but she is taller than I am, so I'm trying to squeeze in so I can see what she's seeing.
There's a body that's lying motionless face down on a bloody golden rug right there. You see this, and Farouk, maybe you're a little bit behind. For a minute, you think you spot a soothsayer that's staring towards you. There's something off about her. And then she's gone.
Did you see her? She was just there.
I look around. What else is there? Is there an exit? Is any other people?
Now you hear Farouk saying this about having seen something, but you just see the people going around the square. You don't see anything really out of the ordinary. You do see this body lying in front of you, though. And yes, it looks as if the throat has been cut. She's short and dressed in simple clothing. A black camise with floral patterns and a yellow shawl. She's face down.
As I start stepping carefully towards the body, I remark to the adjudicator and the others as well. Fucking... I'm starting to wonder how many of them are going to be left. Surely they won't kill themselves just to evade being captured.
I don't think this is the Hassam company doing this. I think someone is cleaning them up and all the traces.
The adjudicator nods. I would agree. The Order of the Pariah, they're ruthless. Truly ruthless. We must put a stop to them. She starts turning the body over, and she's clutching something in her hands. A communicator.
What's that? And I kneel down and I pick it up and I look at her as she's turning the body over. Does it look like someone who works here, or...
It does indeed, yes. It looks... you see a small pin on her clothes that has the Hassam Company logo on it. She's probably working for the Hassam Company.
Huh. And I look at the communicator. Can I figure something out of it? Is there any recent calls or activity or any records?
There is indeed. It seems to have belonged to someone named Niobe. It contains a message from a T that's sent this morning, so just the letter T, asking Niobe to leave Sukhabra. Niobe has replied to this saying that she can't leave yet as she's still waiting for payment from Dolkasser for the delivery of the surplus black beds and their contents.
Niobe was on the manifest.
Yeah.
Niobe Hassam.
Carla, you know of Leod Dolkasser. It's a Dabaran noble that's running much of the slave trade here for the syndicate. A Dabarani upstart wanting to be a Cenethian. He's quite pathetic, really.
Leod Dolkasser. And he seems to be the one who... That's where the trail's leading.
Yes. There's some surplus black beds being delivered to him.
I click my teeth and I look to Farouk. Dolkasser. They are one of those upstart noble types. Trying to be Zenethian, as everyone around here is. But they're not. They're small time, really. But I suppose this operation could be a good opening for them. That's probably why they're involved. They might not be that hard to find, Judicator. They're not going to have much staff or security, and no one's going to really care if something happens to them.
What about black beds? Do you think that's the code name for the slaves?
Exactly, Pig.
Well, then that's at least some kind of trail.
It is, the adjudicator says. It is. And, why don't you see if you can get yourself yourselves cleaned up and take a rest. I'll see what I can find out about Dolcassar and what we can do next.
Yeah, sounds good to me, I say, and I lean on the now cloth-wrapped rifle. You know any place around here, Carlo, where we could...
It shouldn't be hard to find a place. We don't need anything big, just a bed for the night. And, I look to the boy at this point. You know, this would be a very good time to find some people to look after this kid.
What are you talking about? He's an asset.
In what way, Pig?
He's very helpful.
What's he done other than... I kind of look at the boy and then lower my voice a little, other than be something that you like and we've had to feed. What, are you suggesting they go on the Red Moon and squab the decks?
Yeah, sure.
Well, to be honest, if we had the Red Moon here, I guess he could come, but we don't, and it's really not an option, Pig. Maybe, don't you think it would be better for him to find safety and, I don't know, some semblance of a family?
We're family, aren't we?
Yes, Pig, we are.
And Carlo, come to think of it, you know just the place to go. I mean, you know the Conglomerate pretty well, right? You went to this spa once, or maybe a few times, with a special someone, didn't you?
I did. The question, though, is it the sort of place where I kind of want to lay low, if you get my meaning? So, Carl, I think I don't really want to go anywhere where people who are important or people who are part of, certain organizations would care where people go.
Well, last time you went there, you also wanted to lay low, didn't you? You didn't want that to come out, did you?
That's true. Actually, they are.
It should work quite well.
Alright. Actually, I might know a place that's not too far, and if you have the burr, which I suppose actually I can spend a bit, they are quite good at keeping things discreet. So we could lay low there for the moment. It might even be good for you, Judicator.
I have things to do. I will come back with what I can find about Dolcassar. Don't get yourself too relaxed, but do rest up and do clean yourselves up. You're in no shape to continue our important work.
No. Okay, it's a little spa. Again, it's nothing fancy. It's little Algol, but it's better than nothing.
Yes.
And discreet sounds nice.
And that it is. And the Judicator comes back later on. It's getting to be evening. Perhaps it is the next day. You've slept. You're not quite sure. What does the Judicator find you doing in the spa? You're all three together.
It's a very cozy little place, but once you actually get inside, it's a little more luxurious than it would seem from outward appearances. Once again, it is in Little Algol, so we're not talking extravagant here, but it's one of those little secret areas where the owner probably is part of some syndicate organization, or some little, information seller, but is kind of neutral about it, and most of the time, if you pay correctly, you will get at least a night or two of privacy. It has reasonable food, a couple of baths, and it's nestled just by the waterfront.
Yes, and what are you doing as the Judicator comes to you?
I have had a bath and some food. I've taken some time to myself. I've tried to neaten myself up, although once again I am keeping my... Actually, I traded in the turban and kind of got a hood type thing, so I look a little less strange, but still reasonably discreet in appearance that you'd have to kind of corner me and look under my hood to really see who I am, otherwise I look a little bit just like a travelling merc type.
Mm-hmm. And what about Farouk?
I think Farouk is still in the bath. And has been for quite a long time.
I've been quite happy about the clothes that Carlo was able to order for us to this place and to get instead of our stuff. I have had to make a few adjustments for my arms, but I'm also taking a few hours to sew in the protective clothing from my other ones into my new clothes, and also to make a little compartment for the boy's clothes that he has, and I sew in a place for him so that he can hold on to or keep the knife. It would be good for him to have. It's a nice souvenir, a good knife.
Well, then the Judicator comes and finds you in this room. You're all gathered, and Farouk is indeed still in the bath. And she's bringing something with her. She has these cases for suits. Yes, it looks to be cases for very, very nice party outfits, elegant suits. And she looks towards the three of you and says, "We have a banquet to attend." You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the campaign Mercy of the Icons for Coriolis, which is published by Free League. Joining us in the role of Farouk was our dear friend Jenny Jungevall. The music was created by Alpha Zone and Sable Sun and was used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Please check out cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for more of their lovely dark ambient. We also use the official Coriolis soundtrack by Stars on a Black Sea. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon: Martin Heuschober, Simon Cooper, David, Julia, Camilla, Bob Lange, Cameron, Graham Barey, Doug Thomson, and Lily for their generous support. We would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult of Infinity Lost, Call of Cthulhu, and Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay there, as well as binge the rest of Emissary Lost. You can also get early and raw access to all of our recordings and hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play Cult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and remember that the song leads us to the truth under a great winged shadow.